Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video I'll be breaking into 5 beginner mistakes that a lot of players make. Even if you're upwards of level 100, 200, you still might be making some of these mistakes. So in today's video I'll be letting you know everything you're going to need to. And the first trick we're going to be starting off with is Mark II weaponry. A lot of people think that you need to own an MOC or an Avenger, a Garment Factory, to get Mark II weapons, but that's actually not the case. The Freak Shop, which is an entirely free location that I'm currently located at, allows you to have Mark II weapons. All you have to do to unlock the Freak Shop is the first dose mission for Dax. If you haven't done that mission, if you take a look at your map and you look right over here, you will see a golden R for Ron. And when you do that first mission, welcome to the troop, you will then unlock the Acid Lab. And you will also unlock the ability to get the Weapon Workshop. And we can see that you can get all of these weapons to Mark II. For example, my Ball Pup Rifle Mark II is one of my favorite weapons in the game. And not only can I get an extended clip, which you can only get here, but I can get my flashlight upgrades, my scope upgrades. You can get every single type of upgrade that you want inside of the Weapon Workshop. And it's really nice to be able to get these Mark II weapons. They give you slight buffs here and there. I can tell you one of the biggest Mark II upgrades by far is the Combat MG. Getting this thing to the Combat MG Mark II, and then being able to put on the extended mag is huge. This thing gets 200 rounds of ammo. It does more damage. All of the Mark II weapons are flat better than the base variants. You should get the Mark II pistols. You should get the Mark II weapons in general. And even if you don't have bunker research done, it's still such a good investment to get your hands on this weaponry, because it's going to make your life a lot easier and a lot better, whether it's PvP or completing missions. So this is something you'll want to take advantage of. HSW vehicles are the fastest of the fast in Grand Theft Auto Online. For example, this car I'm currently driving, the Karin S95, can achieve a top speed upwards of 160 miles per hour with incredible acceleration and even pretty solid handling. Plus, I just absolutely love the design of this vehicle. But there's one downside. These vehicles are really, really expensive. But what if I told you that you can get your hands on this vehicle and the HSW upgrade for absolutely free? The Karin S95 should be available for all new players on Enhanced Edition. All you have to do is go to Southern San Andreas, go to Two-Door, and you should find it in this area. I'm not sure if you have to sort by price once and it'll be in the free, or it'll be over here, but either way, it'll be on Southern San Andreas, available for free if you haven't already claimed the vehicle. Not only that, but if you complete a House Special Works time trial, you will get your hands on a free voucher, which will allow you to get a upgrade for any HSW vehicle without spending a dime, which means that you can get this car and the upgrade for absolutely free. You can get another free HSW upgrade by buying a car from somebody else in the LS Car Meet, which is why I'd highly recommend, if you're not in my Discord server, you do join and find somebody to buy a car from in the LS Car Meet. It takes 5 seconds. It doesn't have to be an expensive car, by the way. It can literally be an Elegy. As long as it costs more than $1, it'll give you a free HSW voucher. So basically, you can get 2 free HSW upgrades and a free HSW car, all bundled together. Pretty dang sweet if you ask me. The agency is one of the most important purchases to make in Grand Theft Auto Online, and a lot of people really underestimate just how many things the agency is going for it. Listen, it's no shock to anybody that buying the agency is a good idea. There are so many content creators out there, not just myself, that have made videos saying get your hands on the agency. But what a lot of content creators don't tell you is to not purchase the Amani Tech upgrade when you first get your hands on this property. What exactly the heck are you talking about, Poop? That's probably what you're thinking to yourself. Here's the thing. Every person that buys an agency has a company car. And if we make our way into the basement, I'll show you that company car in just a few seconds. The company car is a fully upgraded Amani Tech vehicle, and it's why I don't really recommend that newer players waste their money on Amani Tech vehicles when you have one that's right here. This is the Enus Jubilee, and we can hop into it and drive it just like any personal vehicle. So you can see we're going to get in the car, and it's going to let me drive it all over. This is a fully upgraded car. It features semi-bulletproof tires, and it has bulletproof glass. So as you can see, glass is semi-bulletproof. The tires are bulletproof, and not only that, it has the armor padding on it as well. So this thing can survive explosions, upwards of 10 homing missiles. I don't know if it has the missile lock on jammer, but I do know that it has a turbo, it has all the engine tunes. It's literally a fully upgraded Amani Tech vehicle that you get for simply owning the agency. There's no reason to get your hands on an Amani Tech vehicle as a beginner and waste all of that money when you already have a car that you can drive around whenever you want in a public lobby. And by the way, if you don't want to go to your agency to get the vehicle, you can also call Franklin and request it in the phone tab. So it's actually really easy to get your hands on this car. Sure, it's not as fast as a Buffalo STX or a Stinger TT, but it is still a pretty quick car, going upwards of 115 miles per hour. I actually really like the Jubilee. It also allows you to use the Jubilee in the Dr. Dre security contract missions. So in general, yeah, this is just a free Amani Tech vehicle, and I just don't really see the reason in wasting your money on an Amani Tech car as a beginner when you can just use this for free. We're not done with the agency just yet. There's two other lesser known facts about this property that a lot of people need to take advantage of. First of all, when you talk to your assistant at the front desk, you have the ability to call a personal helicopter. We can see right here. When you exit with the personal helicopter, a lot of people don't know this, if you fly that helicopter over to your hangar, if you own one, you can claim that helicopter as a personal vehicle. That is a $3 million helicopter that you can make yours for free just by purchasing this property. And then you can call the helicopter in whenever you want. Even better yet, you can then own Higgins Helicopter Tours and spawn it there whenever you want. So it's actually really nice that you can use that helicopter. But even better than that, if you make your way up to the assistant, you'll also see SUV service. If I want to go, let's say across the map, right? I scroll and scroll and scroll. Let's say I want to go over to Paleto Bay. I'm going to select Paleto Bay for my SUV service. The game is going to cut to a black screen. Now we're going to watch a very, very short animation. It's going to show the Enos Jubilee driving out of the agency. It's going to cut to black. And then in about 3 seconds, the game's going to cut back to us being at Paleto Bay. It is by far the fastest way to fast travel with your agency. And if you're ever starting up a security contract mission or anything like that, it's really easy to use. And better than that, you can actually take the Jubilee and drive it around. So you can see I just killed the driver of the car. You can literally then take this car and drive it around. It still features full Amani Tech capabilities, which means you're not going to have to worry about being blown up. And sure, I shot out the windows, but still, the fact that it has full-on explosion resistance it's kind of crazy. So yeah, in general, two kind of lesser-known facts about the agency, both of which are really, really nice to take advantage of. Let's say that I completed whatever mission it was, and now I'm stuck in Paleto Bay. Well, we can actually fast travel once again. If you call the downtown Cabco, you're going to get a taxi that'll spawn near you. And when this taxi spawns near you, you actually have the opportunity to fast travel anywhere on the map with this taxi. Now, it only works once every 48 minutes. So I would definitely recommend that if you do this, make sure it's important and you don't just waste this. But if we look down and then we look back up, there you go. We got the taxi that spawns. So I'm just going to run over to the taxi really quickly. Here we go. And the taxi's going to stop for us. So if we hop inside, you're going to see that I can choose a bunch of different locations, right? So where we're going to choose is, for example, terminal. This is all the way on the other side of the map. We're going to choose destination, and then you're going to see skip is available. If I press the skip button, game's going to cut to black, and then in a few seconds, it's going to cut back to us being across the map in the taxi. So here we go, few more seconds, and boom. Now we are all the way on the other side of the map. Don't care if you have a Raiju. I don't care if you're using job warping. This is still the fastest way to get across the map. There's no doubt in my mind. So take advantage of that. That brings us to the final thing, and that is purchasing properties. A lot of people make so many mistakes as beginners or even experienced players when it comes to properties. There's two different things that a lot of players make mistakes on. The first thing is buying locations that are absolutely pointless. Let me give you a great example, right? Motorcycle clubhouses. There's a bunch of clubhouses in the city, and they range upwards of $500,000. But the funny thing about the motorcycle clubhouses is there's literally no reason to buy one. I would recommend to get this clubhouse here for $200,000 and leave it completely dead. Because the only reason you need to own this property is so that you can purchase motorcycle businesses. Apart from that, you're never going to put your foot in the motorcycle clubhouses. Apart from that, also, you might want to put your motorcycles in the clubhouse so that you can have easy access to spawning them when you're registered as a motorcycle resident. But apart from that, there's no reason to own an expensive clubhouse. And then the second thing that a lot of people make mistakes on is spending a lot of money on stuff they don't need. Sure, customization's cool, but if you're a newer player or you don't have a lot of money, you know, changing all of these styles, that's $400,000 there, and then you put on some club emblem for 59,000 and whatever. I don't think this actually costs any money. You put the gun locker on and the custom bike shop. We just turned something that normally is $200,000 to $2 million. That is 10 times the purchase price. Another great example is something like the facility, right? The facility already is a property that you're literally never going to use. So if we go over to facilities, there's a bunch of facilities. A lot of people think that this is the best location for 2.9 million. But why buy that one when you can get this facility for like half the price, and it's literally like a mile away? If you're on a helicopter, it's not going to make any difference in flying there. These facilities are even more expensive. This is the facility you should own right here. And the funny part is, right, let's say you want to get a facility like this one here. You think, oh, it's the best location. Well, not only are you spending a crazy amount of money on that, but then again, if you waste your money on customization, right, $300,000, you change the graphics, boom, $159,000. Orbital cannon, absolutely useless waste of money. Security room, I don't even know what the heck it does. Lounge, who is ever going to use the lounge? Sleeping quarters, that's the only thing that's actually worth it. Apart from that, $5 million. Half of that is just upgrades that you're never going to use, right? Same thing for purchasing, really a good one is purchasing apartments. Apartments are a huge waste of money. On my Broke to Millions account, I don't own any apartments. And you can see that. If we scroll throughout my whole map here, I don't own any Eclipse Towers apartments over here. I don't own any of them apart from one cheap apartment here. And this one I got for free when logging into my account because I was a new player. That's it. The reason why I don't own apartments is because almost all businesses in the game already cover the needs that you would have, right? Let me give you an example. The agency has a 20-car garage. That's already a lot of cars. Not only does the agency have a 20-car garage, but then if you also own the garment factory, you have another 10 cars. So that's now 30 cars of storage that you have access to. If that's not enough, then you have the nightclub. The nightclub actually has some of the cheapest garage space in the game. It's only like $500,000 for 30 cars of storage. So with the nightclub and the agency and the garment factory alone, that is 60 cars of storage. If you're a beginner, why do you need to buy apartments when you have 60 cars of storage already available without even spending that much money? It's definitely a much cheaper option to just buy something like the agency for $2 million than to buy an apartment, which could cost you $500,000-$600,000. It's just a waste, especially for only a 10-car garage. I don't really see the reason in purchasing anything like that. If you really want to get a lot of garage space, you can also get your hand on an office building, which will give you, again, another 30 cars of access. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comments, but these are the tricks and tips that I had to showcase. A huge waste of money is the Eclipse Boulevard garage, by the way. I don't know what that's under. I'm pretty sure it's, what, Dynasty 8? View property listings. Yeah, the Eclipse Boulevard garage. Look at this. $2.74 million. It's a 50-car garage. Here's the thing. The garages that I just listed instead, right? Getting your hands on the garment factory, getting your hands on the agency, and the nightclub. Sure, it's going to cost more money than buying this one property here, but all of those properties earn you money. They're businesses. This doesn't, and you're going to get the same amount of garage space with those as you are with this. So I don't really think you should be buying that unless you're a late game player. Don't waste your money on things you don't need to. Customization, yes, it's nice, and I'm not saying you shouldn't customize your properties, but I'm saying that if you're a beginner and you don't have a lot of money to begin with, don't waste your money on customization. Wait until you have a lot of money, and then you can go back and renovate the properties. That would be my recs. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.